Hellraiser 2022. Directed by David Bruckner, the movie was released via Hulu streaming October 7th in the US and is the 11th instalment of the Hellraiser franchise. Yeah, that's right, the 11th instalment. Let's see how the hell we got here. Number 1. Hellraiser 1987, the original and the best. Clive Barker did an amazing job in bringing a whole new kind of terror to the genre. One of my all-time favourite horror films, the whole thing oozes with style and dread and blood and chains and leather. One not to be missed.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Number 2. Hellbound Hellraiser 2, 1988. An interesting sequel with lofty ambitions. Unfortunately, budget constraints held this back from reaching its true potential. However, I'd still definitely recommend this one.
And you wanted to know. Now you know.
Hellbound Hellraiser 2.
Number 3. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, 1992. The wheels are already starting to come off the franchise at this point. However, this is still a wacky fun horror movie that would have been right at home with the schlocky bollocks of 80s horror cinema.
It's so good to be back. Clive Barker presents Hellraiser 3.
Number 4. Hellraiser Bloodline 1996. A commendable attempt to get the series back on track and tell a more serious story, this time over multiple timelines spanning from the 18th to the 22nd century. A for effort, F for execution.
Welcome to Oblivion. Hellraiser Bloodline.
Number 5. Hellraiser Inferno 2000. We're now in the direct-to-video era, in which generic thrillers had Cenobites added simply to keep the series alive. This was a by-the-numbers affair, with a corrupt cop as the plaything of the Hell Priest.
Welcome to hell. Hellraiser Inferno.
Number 6. Hellraiser Hellseeker 2002. Another story of a tormented soul being put through the ringer, but oh look, here's Kirsty from Hellraiser 1987, so this must be part of the series, right? Right?
Well, what do you think?
Number 7. Hellraiser Deader 2005. Yet another non-Hellraiser related script with the Cenobites forced in to keep the franchise going. Skippity skip. Number 8. Hellraiser Hellworld, also 2005. Not a good sign. This time let's take the Hell Priest and drop him into an awful story about death and guilt and an online game called Hellworld, and I've bored myself to death just talking about it. Next. Number 9. Hellraiser Revelations 2011. Oh, for fuck's sake. Number 10. Hellraiser Judgment 2018. Okay, this one isn't good, but I have to admit I like the style. It's more of a meditation on the concepts of Hellraiser rather than the next step in the story. If you like weird visuals, give this one a try.
Let's just dive in, shall we?
Number 11. Hellraiser 2022. The reboot. Will it resurrect the series from the darkness? Let's find out. The film starts with the obligatory introduction to the puzzle box and its current home. We see the owner, Roland Voigt, is using unsuspecting people as pawns in an attempt to interact with the box. This approach is in keeping with characters such as Shinard from Hellbound Hellraiser 2. Why endanger yourself when you can use proxies to contact the Cenobites? We see a young man called Joey complete the final phase of the box, and his only reward is to get hauled away by the Hell Chains. The story then jumps forward 6 years, and we're introduced to our protagonist Riley, a recovering addict who is living with her brother Matt, his boyfriend Colin, and Nora, their roommate. Riley's boyfriend Trevor, somewhat of a bad influence, lets her in on a plan to break into a warehouse and steal the contents of a long since abandoned storage container. She agrees to help him in exchange for a cut of the profits. The pair get into the container and find nothing but a solitary safe. They bust this open to find a box containing an ornate cube. Trevor agrees to Riley taking it for safekeeping while he finds a buyer for the loot. Riley arrives home drunk and has a huge argument with her brother Matt regarding her relapse, and this results in her getting thrown out of the apartment. While loading her stuff into her car, she finds some pills and decides to get high in the nearby park and investigate the box. While messing around with it, she discovers a hidden blade that flicks out and narrowly misses her hand. As the pills start to kick in, she passes out and Riley gets a glimpse of the Cenobites. They inform her that the blood was meant for her, but as it missed, someone else will have to be sacrificed. Matt comes to the park to find his sister, drawn there by a nightmare, and is cut by the blade. He goes into the nearby bathroom to clean his wound and vanishes, taken by the Cenobites. In an attempt to find out what's going on, Riley and Trevor track down the person who signed for the storage unit, Roland Voight's lawyer Serena. She explains that the box wasn't abandoned in the unit, it was being kept locked away. The lawyer attempts to take the box from Riley and is cut in the process, which means she's the next to be taken by the Cenobites. Following an argument with Trevor, Riley goes it alone and follows the trail to Voight's mansion, which now has a huge decorative cage around it. Inside, she finds journals that explain how sacrifices are made to facilitate the different stages of the puzzle box. Once souls have been marked and the configuration is complete, the holder can have an audience with Leviathan, God, and receive a gift. Riley sees an opportunity to resurrect her brother. She keeps seeing visions of him since the disappearance. Trevor, Colin and Nora arrive at the mansion to take Riley home. After explaining to Colin what she's discovered, Riley realises that the box is missing.
Here, look. Here, where's the box? I don't have it.
In the meantime, while looking around the place, Nora gets locked behind a secret wall and is stabbed with the box by a mutilated Voight who's been in hiding. Turns out Voight chose new pleasures and sensations as his gift for completing the box. However, the Cenobites' twisted interpretation of this resulted in a contraption being attached right through Voight, which constantly pulls at his nerve endings, making him feel pain all the time.
Their tastes were not what I imagined.
Riley takes the box and the group leave in the van to get Nora to safety. During the drive, Nora is taken by the Cenobites, and the new Hell Priest gives her a small taste of the suffering to come. After crashing the van, the group decide that the only thing they can do is to get back to the house. Along the way, Riley separates from the group and is confronted by the Hell Priest. She's offered her brother back in exchange for 2 final sacrifices. Riley refuses to cooperate and is cut by the box. It's now either 2 more souls or she'll be taken herself. As Riley, Colin and Trevor make their way back to the house, Trevor is attacked by the Chatterer. Riley stabs the Cenobite with the box, and the Cenobite is then torn apart, leaving only 1 sacrifice to be made. They get back to the mansion and discover that the cage around the building was specifically designed to keep the Cenobites out. While Trevor is left to rest and deal with his injuries, we discover that he's been working for Voight. Trevor was being paid by Voight to help get another audience with the Cenobites by finding more sacrifices. The group then use the mansion's security gates to trap the asphyxiating Cenobite. But before it can be harvested for the ritual, Voight stabs Colin with the box blade to complete the configuration. As Leviathan looms in overhead, Riley retrieves the box and unlocks the gates. Riley and Colin escape but are cornered by more Cenobites. As Colin is tortured, Riley stabs Trevor and declares him as the final sacrifice. Meanwhile, Voight confronts the Hell Priest and asks for his gift to be removed. She explains that gifts cannot be returned, however they can be exchanged in order to push the limits further. The Hell Priest looks into Voight's soul and concludes that pleasure is only the surface reading of his drives, and what he truly lusts for is power. The contraption falls away, Voight begins to heal, and then is immediately harpooned by a giant chain and taken up to Leviathan. As the holder of the box, Riley is offered her brother back by the Hell Priest. Riley refuses any gift as she has seen the twisted rewards that are offered by Leviathan. She will accept responsibility for her brother's death. The Hell Priest informs Riley that she has accepted the Lament configuration and will have to deal with her own emotional suffering. The box reverts back to the original cube configuration and the demons leave. Riley and Colin are free to go. Voight awakens on the other side, undergoes unimaginable pain and torment by the will of Leviathan. He is flayed, pierced and tortured until he receives revelation. Voight is no more and a new Cenobite is born. Hellraiser 2022 wraps things up rather well. We see the conclusion of the stories and we get the kind of horrible, grim ending that I just love. For his various crimes, Roland Voight was subjected to a punishment worse than death. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see this newly formed Cenobite return and perpetrate even worse atrocities should there be a sequel. As far as Riley is concerned, she has grown as an individual, and in doing so has taken responsibility for the death of her brother. But at the end of the tale, she realises that any gift Leviathan could have offered to her would have been a perversion of her true intentions, and in that moment she couldn't face that outcome. When they get back to the van ready to leave, Colin asks Riley, "What just happened in there?" She responds that she made a choice. Colin then asks, "It was the right one, right?" Riley can't face the question. She turns away. The shot lingers on her face, racked with pain and regret. She doesn't know if her choice was correct, and probably never will. So, what did you think of the Hellraiser reboot? Do you prefer the original? Do you like the new twist on things? What did you think of the new Cenobites? Let me know down in the comments, and thanks for watching.